All right, friends, good morning to you. 10:35 right now here in the city of Fountains, Kansas City. Never looked so soggy. Yeah, a lot of shower activity, a lot of thunderstorms from this morning and really from last night as well. Around 8:30, really started to rumble on in. Severe storm activity impacted the region. Up to 80-mile-per-hour winds. Obviously, we had frequent lightning, torrential rainfall involved with that, and a lot of storm damage and power outages. We'll actually be talking about that with Janae Hancock here in the next few. But we want to talk about the now and what we can expect moving forward through the day in the next few days here. So good morning to you. Storm Track 5 meteorologist Greg Bennett here. We're tracking the storms exiting out of the viewing area. That's the plus, and dissipating in intensity. This is all associated with a couple of areas of upper-level low-pressure systems and some fronts that are kind of streamed across the Central Plains right now. We'll get into the synoptics of it all, those weather features, in just a few moments. But let's get you over to a live look over at the radar system. And you can see over the past 3 hours, we've had some very active weather out there for us. Those heavier showers and storms now starting to dissipate, though, but you saw a bit of lightning in all of that as well over the past few hours moving through the metro. We were expecting on the cusp of one more severe thunderstorm warning, the beginning of that model run there. You see that kind of sort of pushed on through about 7:15 in the morning, but it did not quite make the criteria. What we need is at least wind up to about 58 miles per hour, and you need to at least see it in radar. About an inch in diameter of hail developing within the actual storm system itself. And we were seeing some developments of hail, but the wind itself did not make it to that 58 miles per hour. However, we did see about 45-mile-per-hour gusts with that storm system that moved on through. And again, the beginning of the timestamp here at around 7:30 in the morning, around the southern end of the loop is where we saw some of those stronger storm cells, right? So let's keep on moving here. I want to go into our next system and just show you right down into the metro. Now that we're really just dealing with the heavier cloud content, maybe some light drizzle or light shower activity up towards Liberty, Excelsior Springs, right on up towards the Gower area, north of Platte County, and then moving up into portions of Buchanan, Andrew counties here. But we're not done with that wet weather. I'm actually going to go ahead and broaden up the view here and show you that we do have some stronger storms that'll be lying well up to the north of us. This is going to be off around the Gentry and Worth kind of counties, maybe Harrison County up there towards the north. And you can see that we've got these dark reds, oranges. That's all indicative of getting into that heavy downpour threat. Obviously, we've been getting some lightning strikes here. Doesn't look like much, but I've got the model set to show you the lightning within the past 3 minutes. So only talking about the last 180 seconds of showing you lightning strikes. And that's actually pretty significant to see that much lightning within that short amount of time here. We have been registering with this particular cell up to about 30-mile-per-hour gusts. I do anticipate to see maybe some stronger kind of winds in there, especially in that darker kind of area that's right there south of Bethany. We can get a little bit closer to route, there to 69. It's about to pass over in that particular location. And it's all moving towards the east. It's going to continue on towards I-35 as well. So not the greatest location to be if you are commuting in this area and you know you got friends and family about to hit the road, maybe around Bethany and Interstate 35. Might be best to just pull off to the road, off to the side, and maybe head out to one of those large gas stations, hang out inside for a little bit, and let that storm system pass. It is a small cell, but nonetheless, we want to watch out for it. The rest of the area down with some heavier greens here out towards the east. Everything is moving out to the east now, but Brookfield, Salisbury kind of area, Carlton, and then moving over towards Marshall, all of which just about to exit out. So this is where we have the good news in our forecast, is that I do believe we will be lifting officially that weather alert basically within the next 15 or 20 minutes here. I want to make sure that that one little cell that's up to the north here, that stronger one near Bethany, doesn't kind of pop up into any kind of a severe weather threat. So we're going to keep our eyes on it. But once that starts to really dissipate, that should be the end of our aggressive wet weather threat for the rest of the day. Now, remember, I said aggressive wet weather threat. We still have the chances for wet weather for the rest of the day. It's going to be low chances and very isolated for us, very kind of pop up for us, but it is still worthwhile to keep the umbrella handy. You know, leave it in the car, leave it in the office. If you got one of those little pocket umbrellas, if you could hold on to it, put it in your bag, something like that. It's a good idea for that, because we will have that quick opportunity for a little bit of a drizzle or a light shower, just enough to keep those roads maybe on the damp or slick side. So it's something we'll have to watch out for. But let me show you the synoptics. Let's get into that and show you what we're talking about. This is where it gets kind of fascinating for us, because I've got these two upper level low pressure systems, one to the south, obviously you see one to the west, and technically they're shifted a little bit more towards the Kansas City area. But you see that big high pressure system, that big H to the north off around Green Bay, Wisconsin? Well, there's another one that's over around Denver. And then there's a third one down to the south near the Gulf coastal areas. And these pressure systems, these high pressure systems, are literally acting like a blockade. And they're kind of holding that weather feature right there, those upper level lows and that stationary front, from really moving and trekking outside of the Central Plains and maybe out towards the east. And what we're seeing is that we're developing different kind of movements, and whatever ingredients we get throughout the next few days will alter that front. Right now it's stationary, but we anticipate to actually get to a warm front as we progress into tomorrow. Then it goes back to being a stationary front. The low pressure system there that's off around kind of north of Wichita seems to just kind of sort of linger around central Kansas because it doesn't have anywhere to go. Now, we still get into a southerly flow that still gives us a little bit of moisture. Most of our energy and instability is kind of sort of gone now, because we sucked up all that energy with this storm system from last night and throughout this morning. So there's some good news there. So far, the SPC, that's the Severe Prediction Center from the National Weather Service, is not really issuing an aggressive severe thunderstorm threat throughout the next several days, but the rain chance will still be there. It's going to be on the low side. We're talking maybe 20% chances. Again, this kind of pop-up scattered to isolated threat for showers, maybe a run-of-the-mill weak thunderstorm. So it's still worthwhile to be a little bit on the alert side, but we're not looking at a widespread severe weather threat at this time, and I think that's the good news here. There is more good news, and that's going to come in the actual forecast for the high temperature of the day. I'm just going to go straight into the I have the motorcycle forecast here. I'm just going to go into the hour by hour and just show you what I'm talking about here. Honestly, when it comes down to it, though, two wheels, I didn't ride my motorcycle in. I don't think it's worth riding the motorcycle today because of the wet, slick conditions. But, you know, if that's your form of transportation, just take it easy out there. Make sure you're wearing all the gear. But look at those temperatures. Look at those temperatures. We haven't seen this in a hot second, friends. I mean, we're easily talking over a month and a half, 2 months, that we have not seen these lower 80s to the forecast. And we may be redoing this forecast because of all the cloud cover we're dealing with and the temperatures that we're at right now. We may be calling closer to around 82 degrees as the high temperature and not necessarily 84 degrees as our high temperature. Feel likes mid 80s tops? Maybe up to 89 degrees if we can get a bit more of the sunshine in the forecast for us, break this cloud content. But it is going to be a cool day for us, below average by anywhere from 3 degrees to 7 degrees. Unfortunately, it doesn't last. So if you've got a break in the wet weather here and you want to get outdoors and do, a little bit of errand work, or perhaps there's something you can do outdoors, maybe at least just take a break outdoors, you can get it out there and enjoy a little bit of fresh air and some mild temperatures. But as I said, we're looking at a big difference in the next 24 hours, so much so that we've already got hints to the forecast here of heat advisories. Yeah, they're already starting to pop up, and they're mainly towards the west, but we just got an update towards Benton County. That's on the eastern side there, down to the south, just south of Sedalia, and obviously east of Clinton. That is Benton County, and we are looking at another heat advisory in place in these locations. Now, this is up for today. These areas are technically up starting at 1 o'clock this afternoon and will continue till 9 p.m. Tuesday. Obviously, we're not involved with one of these heat advisories for today, but I would not be surprised if we get an update today for heat advisories to the metro for tomorrow. Okay, specifically for tomorrow, because we are getting back into the upper 80s and lower 90s, but the moisture content so aggressive at the surface, our feel-like temperatures, our heat indices are looking pretty impressive, almost like we would be in the upper 90s with, 70 or 80% humidity. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We're going to move forward here and show you the forecast for the heat index. So this is going to be the feel-like temperature. We're already starting off 1 o'clock in the afternoon Tuesday, all right? So forget about the morning because we want to know what's going on for that major heat, right? Now, I believe our high temperature is going to be about 90 to 92 degrees, all right? So already at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we're looking at a feel-like of 99 within the KCI area, 102 to Paola, 102 Lacine, and then Ottawa coming in at a stifling 106 degrees. But let's move forward into the late afternoon. Now with the new update, we've got 104 degrees potentially as our feel-like temperature. Olathe coming in around 107 degrees. So this puts us in a really good opportunity to yet again get into another heat advisory. And I want you to be prepped and warned about this now so you can get yourself ready for that aggressive heat expected for tomorrow. It's cool enough today that if you need to get out there to your AC and you know how to clean it and wash off, the coils, now's the time to do it. This is a great opportunity to get that done. Same thing goes for the car. If you need to replace maybe the coolant in your vehicle, now's the time to do it. It's cool outside, it's comfortable, you can get some of that work done. That way you're ready for the heat as we move forward in time again. So that's what we're looking at there. The funny thing is, the feel-like temperature into Wednesday still doesn't look too aggressive for us. We're looking at about 102 as the feel-like temperature, but the funny thing is the air temperature is expected to be even hotter. So we're talking about 94 degrees as the high temperature. And again, the reason for this is all about the moisture content of the atmosphere. It's all about the humidity that occurs, and you need moisture, you need water vapor to have that feel-like temperature. So we're not going to have as much accessible moisture at the surface to get into one of those aggressive feel-like temperatures like we're dealing with right now. As it stands, let me asterisk that, right? That's what I want to say, the little star. I want to say that this is what we're looking at with the data that we've got right now. We still expect a southerly flow, but so far the southerly flow is not picking up a whole lot of moisture. It seems to be gobbed up by another upper level low that remains to the south. So we don't really tap into aggressive moisture like what we may be dealing with as we move forward into tomorrow afternoon. So that is absolutely an opportunity to change for us though. And we've got 48 hours for that to happen. So I still want you to be wary about this. Obviously, tomorrow's a big concern because we're going back to that aggressive heat where we've got to watch out for excessive heat watches and warnings out there. And obviously the heat advisories, but we want to watch out for heat exhaustion and heat stroke, right? The signs of that. If you've got any kind of work outdoors tomorrow, take breaks in the AC and frequently. Make sure that you're drinking water as well. Staying cool and hydrated. Very, very important. Okay, I've got one more thing that I want to show you guys that I think you're going to love. And I literally smiled ear to ear on this, putting the forecast together, and I really hope it keeps on keeping on as we move through the next few days here. I'm going to bring in the 10-day forecast, our Security Bank 10-day forecast, because we're going into August. We've got this heat rolling on in right now. But as we move forward in time, we see yet again another cooling trend. Now, the rain chances remain at that low end, but like I said, we're still hovering with this storm system through the next several days. We'll actually carry basically this entire storm system through the week because we've got high pressure holding everything together right now. So we'll keep a low chance for wet weather, very isolated pop-up here and there. It's worthwhile to grab the umbrella. It's worthwhile to see, expect maybe getting into a little bit of rainfall for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then you're just back to partly cloudy skies. Just be ready for something like that. But look at our temperatures. We go up to 94 on Wednesday. This is where it gets exciting. On Friday, we drop down to seasonal, 88 degrees. We are officially in August, which is typically one of the warmest months of the summer season for us, right? End of July, beginning of August really sucks when it comes down to the temperature. Well, instead of getting to these temperatures that we anticipate, like we're getting in on Wednesday, we're talking about dropping temperatures. Cooler trend. starts to pull through from the north for us. Mama Nature helping us out, at least for the first week that we have August here. And we drop down below average. I've got us coming in at about 82 degrees. So I'm hoping we can keep those kinds of numbers, or at least flirt around those numbers, because that's comfortable. That's outdoor weather. We could all hang out and enjoy, heading out to the park, or, checking out your favorite hike area, especially when it comes down to the weekend. Even though we've got that 20% chance for rain, we got to be wary about it. It's still not going to stop us from heading outdoors. And I think this is looking to be a really good forecast for us, especially when it comes down to the KC Curtin and their soccer game out there. All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to do one more recap here over today, and I'm happy to say that I think we're really going to be lifting this weather alert from our forecast today within the next 20 minutes here or so, and the reason being is because all of our intense storm activity, severe weather, is starting to really lessen across the area, and I'm really, really happy about that. But let's get back into the radar. We've been dealing some aggressive storm activity from earlier this morning. No more. All of that is now starting to shift out towards the east. It's just about outside of the viewing area now. It's on its way to exit out of Sedalia and Marshall, but there are still heavier downpours in these locations. Still don't want to take this lightly. And then we just got an update on that storm now finally passing northern I-35 near Bethany. And as you can see, it's actually diminished in intensity just a tad, which is good signs for us and good signs for you up there towards the north off around Bethany. Hopefully we won't be worrying about seeing 50 or 60 mile per hour winds with these cells, but there's still a lot of rainfall, a lot of lightning. We want to stick to the indoors. Try to stay away from the windows. It's going to be a good idea because, lightning loves to find ways to, do some serious damage. And it doesn't take a thunderstorm actually to be right over you for lightning to strike. It can actually strike from 10 miles away. So hence why we have these lightning delays here around the city, right? Around the K and then moving over towards Arrowhead. And it may not be because of a storm that's right overhead. It could be one that's from 10 miles away, but it's showing a lot of lightning. So they always take the precautions there. But we are moving away from this. This is a far cry from what we had to deal with overnight last night through starting around 8 p.m. and then moving till 10, 11 o'clock. We actually cut in to cover the severe weather activity that was rocking the metro during that time frame. We saw wind up around 80 miles per hour. It did some serious damage out there. Now we're just picking up the pieces here. But you know what? The information is still rolling on in about power outages. It's still rolling on in about damage to power lines and trees and damage across the area. We've got a lot of stuff on social media, and I think it's now time that Janae, she's going to be taking over here and give us the scoop on, kind of sort of the recap, and then, of course, what's out there social media-wise for damage. Janae.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Greg, for that weather update. Right now, I do want to turn to the Evergy website. They just released this latest storm update, and they said that crews have restored power from last night's thunderstorms to 2/3 of the 80,000 customers affected by those storms. Now, roughly 28,000 customers in largely the Kansas City area remain without power, and they also said that they have crews from all over Evergy working to get them restored right now. They also issued saying customers may see damage assessment crews driving through their neighborhoods where power is out, and they are identifying what types of repairs are needed in these areas so Evergy line crews can work more efficiently. So again, that is the latest update that is coming from Evergy right now. Of course, we will continue to keep you all posted on the latest numbers as far as how many people are still without power as they work to restore that all day today. Right now, I am going to turn the camera around so you all can see me, but as always, I am Janae Hancock here at the live desk, and I am tracking that as far as the severe weather that came through our area last night. But right now, I also want to take a look at Twitter right now. If we turn to our website, you can see this video coming from Weather Nation. This is some intense video. They said that tree limbs, electrical transformers, and storms do not mix well, and that is very obvious based off of this video. And they also said, luckily, Overland Park police and fire departments arrived on scene to put out this mess late Sunday evening. And this video was taken in Overland Park, Kansas. KCTV5's Gianni Navarro will be tracking the latest storm damage from overnight, yesterday's storms. and into today as people wake up and see all of the damage that they may have received from last night's weather. I also want to turn to our website, kctv5.com. If you have any photos or videos that you want to submit to us that we can use on our social media platforms as well as possibly on air, you can go to our website, kctv5.com. Right at the top, there's a tab that says Submit Photo, and that's where you can add your media. You can see weather is listed right here. Let's click on this to take a look at a few photos that we received. I want to show you a few of my favorites. That's some intense photos right there. But I do want to show you one of my favorites that I saw here. This is coming from Steve Jennings 15 hours ago. Not sure exactly where this took place, but you can see that lightning strike. Looks like he's looking from the inside of his home or maybe just a typical building. But I also want to take a look at another photo that we received. This is coming from Dorothy 13 hours ago. She said came home from a birthday party to this. It looks like this tree collapsed over this fence. And we have seen so many photos and videos like this within just the last few weeks, especially following that severe Friday storm just a few weeks ago. So a lot of people are still picking up the pieces of debris and so much storm damage as it seems we just continue to get severe storms in our area. So as always, head to our website, kctv5.com, and send us the photos and videos that you have in your neighborhoods or maybe while you're at work or just driving into work. Be sure to do that. And again, like I mentioned, you'll be able to see that possibly on air within the coming days or also on our social media platforms. I know we've already posted a few already. I also want to take a look at this video that we received from overnight. You may have seen it on our morning show this morning, but you can see that powerful rain and wind and what appears to be a transformer blowing up. So as always, like I mentioned, be sure to send in your videos and you might be able to see it. And as we continue to track these serious storms, you can head to our KCTV5 News and Weather app, and we will push the news straight to your phone as it happens. And you'll be able to find that on your smart device through the Apple Store or as well through if you have an Android, you'll be able to find it there as well. Right now, I want to touch on something else that is happening today. It has been the talk that we have been following for a very long time, but I do want to turn to this video here. The tax assessment appeals process in Jackson County comes to an end at 11:59 p.m. on the dot today. So the office will start accepting the first 50 property owners for walk-in reviews for an hour and a half starting tomorrow if they meet a criteria. The individuals able to walk in tomorrow have to have had already filed an appeal, not received a notice for a hearing date and time, and everyone else needs to file an appeal by 11:59 p.m. tonight. Now, those who have appealed already, the assessor's office suggests checking your spam email folder as the hearing date and time email will sometimes go that route. The office will be providing more details and updates every Thursday morning. And as we look ahead to that deadline taking place at 11:59 p.m. tonight, we will be sure to bring our coverage will continue on the assessment process in Jackson County. So be sure to tune in to our newscast later on this evening, and as well as, like I mentioned, download our KCTV5 News app for instant notifications to your phone. Right now, I am going to leave you all with another look at that outage map coming from Evergy right now. This is the latest update we received from them, but I am going to refresh the page so we can take a look at where most of those outages are right now. I know I lost my power overnight, but it looks like we have a lot of them also in the Overland Park area. But as of right now, it looks like total customers out 22,000. Again, they did issue an update earlier this morning saying that they have restored a lot of power from overnight, and they'll continue to go out in neighborhoods and restore power throughout the day today. Like I mentioned, KCTV5's Gianni Navarro is on that story, so we'll be sure to provide you updates throughout the day today.